awake at this ungodly hour is something I only
On the
do for
holidays.
on the hollandaise.
On the
Hollandaise, but no, sadly there's no eggs Benedict yet, because I can't eat that early in the morning, because it fucks with my stomach. Welcome to the Double D experience. Sometimes early, sometimes very late as well, actually.
Yeah, true.
But
never
always,
on time.
but always recorded. Dennis.
Yes.
Literally, as I was walking downstairs,
Mm-hmm.
you know I would never lie to you. You actually fucking know I would never lie to you. I literally said, I'm like, would you give me 3 minutes to just go downstairs and grab coffee? Because Dennis had
It was
coffee.
not 3 minutes.
Dennis had coffee and I didn't. And it made me jealous. We have to record Double D's in the morning today. It's an ungodly hour as we are recording. I don't think, is this the earliest we've ever recorded? 8 o'clock, I think? No? We've recorded before 8 o'clock? No, we haven't.
Yeah. We have.
No, we haven't.
We have.
We absolutely have not.
We have.
That wasn't me. That had to have been somebody else. Because I know Nintoonist is like the most anti-morning person in the world. Mainly for the reason that in order to maintain his rockstar / slim fat dad bod figure, I'll just be real with y'all. I take gigantic shits in the morning. Like,
which is good.
Gigantic. I know it's good. I know it's a good thing. But
shit.
Literally, the most inconvenient fucking time. Dennis, you know I would never lie to you. I literally did go downstairs purely with the intention of just, I'm gonna grab some coffee real quick. It's fine, whatever. Like, I rolled out of bed. 8:04 I rolled on. I was 4 minutes late. And then as I'm walking downstairs, like, each step just, like, puts another fucking, like Richter scale gyroscope, like, vibration in my gut. And all of a sudden, I had to drop a massive shit. Like,
so did you actually shit?
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, no, that's why I took so long, Dennis. I literally, when I said 3 minutes, I meant 3 minutes. But then my stomach was like...
I would rather you take a shit now, before the podcast, than during. Because I've had moments where after I ate something and we recorded that I had to shit.
It's horrible.
Really, really fucking bad.
It's a horrible feeling.
To add to that, there is nothing worse than having to shit when you know you can't. Like being on the road.
97.1.
Being on the road. No rest stops coming up for the next, let's say, 45 minutes.
Bless you.
Thank you. And just knowing that...
Bless you again.
Thank you. And just knowing that, like, oh, I'm just going to be sitting in this, like, just driving in my seat with this shit wanting to come out. But it can't.
And you're on the road is the worst feeling.
And I don't want to make David laugh because he's drinking his coffee, so I'm going to take a pause here.
I feel like we're destined to do a spit take and ruin my whole computer. In front of us at some point.
That's
like,
why
directly in front of me is my pass-through filter and everything. Also, this little chain chomp just sitting, like, right there in front of me, like, sitting on my pass-through filter.
There's me naked.
He's just anxious. It's like one of those, like, infinity screens. No, I have him here. It's destined to do that. Dennis, here's a good shit story. You know, it's funny, once we start recording in the morning, it's totally fine. Once you start going through with anything, but when you're as much of a piece of fucking dog shit like me, when you're such internally, deep in your fucking soul, like physically, mentally, and spiritually, not a morning person, it's hard to get it going, but once you do, it's great. When I was very active...
Yeah.
When I was very active as a competitor in Smash... probably my best friend in the scene, besides my girl at the time, would be Wise Guy. I'm gonna give a shout out to Wise Guy. So my buddy Joe.
He's a fucking wise guy.
Yeah, he would say the exact same thing, to be honest. Literally one of the funniest people I've ever met in my life, if I'm being honest. And I haven't. I gotta check up on him to be honest. Literally, just somebody you have the amount of inside jokes with, like I do with Dennis, that just makes it all right in the end. Like, whenever I would joke on Game Grumps, he's like, I'm gonna fucking pre, dude. He'd be like, dude, sometimes I see a girl and like it makes me want to post. Like he says shit like that. He has like Yogi Berra, like yogiisms, like in responses to things. Like if I say like, oh, I'm gonna pre, dude, it'd be like, dude, I'm gonna post. Like, and he's genuinely a wise guy. Like really, he is. Like he's got like good snaps to it. He was my doubles partner.
I thought you were gonna say he worked for the mob or something.
No. He was a genuine. No. He was a wise guy, not a wise guy. See, he wasn't a wise guy. He was a wise guy. That's a big difference.
Gotcha.
He was my doubles partner in Smash Brothers. We were static dubs partners. We won a couple tournaments together. Usually got like second or so at the locals back in the day, back in Smash 4, and even in Ultimate we started doing some stuff. But we did doubles at SmashCon, right? And it doesn't matter how much practice you have or how much training you do necessarily to try to beat the better doubles teams, because doubles in Smash Brothers can be hard. There's a lot of people who like it, but it takes a lot of time, so commentators don't like casting it, blah blah blah, whatever. At the most inconvenient possible time, at this giant, literally the biggest Smash tournament of the year, giant convention, Wise Guy had to take a fucking Kathmandu style Dumpachino. And we had zero time. He literally, his stomach started like effing with him as the fucking bracket was starting. The worst possible time. He played like shit. He was so unfocused. He was so immoralized and compromised and stuff. We were messing up our confirms. We were fucking like so out of sync with each other.
Were just like falling through, like everything.
Turning
complete just collapse.
I'm turning to look at him. You can see it on his face, and like just holding the game.
It's like having a battle within himself.
He looked so miserable.
It's like he was playing Smash against his own body. And he was losing.
And we did not do as well in that tournament as we would have fucking liked. And he went to the bathroom like immediately after we were out, which was very quickly. I think we went 0-2 pretty fucking fast.
So it's always best of 3.
No. 0-2 means double bracketed. Smash Brothers brackets are double bracketed. There's the winner's bracket, which is like the upper bracket everybody starts with. Okay. Then when you lose in the winner's bracket, you're not eliminated from the tournament. You're sent to the loser's bracket, which is like the lower bracket, usually a harder path. There's more matches to make up for the one that you lost. And then if you lose in the loser's bracket, then you're out. So when I said 0-2, it means we played 2 sets. Our winner's bracket set, which we lost going down to losers, and then lost our loser's set. That means going 0-2. Like our set count, basically.
Okay.
But the sets are also best of 3 individually per match. Like 3 separate Smash games. He felt so horrible. And I felt so bad because he came back. He was like apologizing and shit. I'm like, dude. I was like, dude.
What happened?
Fucking happens, my guy. I am so sorry. I'm like, I don't remember what he ate. Honestly, I just remember being mesmerized because he took his glasses and his shirt off. He took his glasses and his shirt off in front of me once, and he flipped his hair back, and he has really long hair, and he dead ass looked like Jesus. So he stood in front of the sun for a second, and there were glares off the back of his head, like straight up, and I thought I saw the Son of God for a second. He straight up told me, yeah, I get that a lot. Because he has really long hair as well. He literally looked like Jesus. So that's a fun little shit story for the morning, which is not my technically shit story, but also I guess it is at the same time. Shout outs to Wise Guy. Miss you, buddy.
Just to add to that, I want to by next year, I kind of want to go and
never
play.
Shit again. I want to never shit again. That is my New Year's resolution, David.
I just want to plug my asshole. No, but not like that, but But like next year, I kind of want to go and play Yu-Gi-Oh like competitively, and like they have like tournaments like basically all around the world, like primarily in the States. Like they have it all across the country, and there's some here like thing at least in Jersey and tri-state and like maybe a bit farther. But like I always like hear about, like at least on YouTube, like a lot of those like Yu-Gi-Oh YouTubers, like they always talk about like their tournament experiences, and like, you know, main thing that they always say is that especially if the tournament is like a huge one, because like sometimes you'd get like hundreds to thousands of people attending like that one small convention center, and they usually say it's a lot of waiting, honestly. Like if you make it past like the Swiss round, around the Swiss, like you just kind of just sit there just waiting to hear your name, essentially. Like especially if you're going to be going up on the stage, like, you know, in front of people, like you're just going to like be waiting a lot. And more often than not, like, you know, most of the time people usually go like X2, or, you know, after that they're just kind of like, okay, all right, I think I'm done. I think I'm not going to just continue playing anymore. Like they might as well just, like, you could honestly just drop out if you want as well. Like it's like the people who attend, like especially like the bigger events, they would be there for days. Like they would like literally, it would usually take place like at a hotel, like, and like, you know how like they usually have like the ballrooms and stuff like kind of just set aside. That would be like for where all like the players go to like play. And sometimes it could be at like an actual convention center as well. But like if you're planning on being there and like you gonna compete, like you're gonna be there for a day or two. Probably.
You're preaching to the fucking choir on this one, my guy.
And like tournaments like thing, especially for the day, would end like I don't fucking know. Could be like 8 to 9 o'clock p.m. Like maybe 10. And
I've had tournaments run
like,
later than that.
And like, you know, not to mention like, especially there's even other competitions like thing over. I've heard like in South America, like Buenos Aires, even Havana, apparently like they play Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm like, communists play Yu-Gi-Oh? What?
Hey, I'm kidding.
Too.
Back when the Smash World Tour was a thing, like one of the Smash tournaments there was in Cuba. They had one.
Oh, was
there.
It really?
Yeah.
Shit.
That's not a thing anymore for reasons that don't bear getting into right now.
Can you imagine like Raul is just like, you know, he's like talking with like his government. It's like, all right, we need something to bring people here. Because people are sick and tired of coming here for the cigars and women. We need something else that'll drive tourism. It's like, what do you guys have? And like, there's that one gamer in government. He's just like, how about we bring Smash Brothers to Havana? I think that'll be really good if we bring Smash Brothers. And like, Raul and Comatose Castro's just like, at the wheelchair like this.
I will use like, your stale skin to rub my cigars.
It's like, what are you suggesting? Are you suggesting we bring all these fucking foreigners to play this fucking video game?
Are they Mexican? They sound Mexican. It's not even close to a Cuban accent.
I mean, I think it's still a little too early to do a Tony Montana.
I was just thinking the exact same thing, because like literally
it's a little too early.
At dinner last night, when I told my sister I was going to be recording DDA in the morning, she was like, "You better not wake me up." And I'm like, "Okay, facts." Because Cubans are fucking loud. They'll be like, "Yo, want coffee? Okay." Like they talk like that.
It really is like, and this is not a knock. It's for any one or two Cubans who listen to us. This is not a knock against you or your just people in general. I mean, I literally host with a Cuban.
No,
here.
they're fucking
like,
they're fucking loud as fuck.
I know
hear
that's
my
the thing.
voice. I'm loud as fuck. My ex fucking
no such
girlfriend
thing as a quiet Cuban. There's just, I've never heard one. I've never seen one. They're like, might as well be fucking Bigfoot in the forest. Like I just never seen one. And until I see one, I'll retract my statement. But I don't know what it is, but like I think it's like for the majority of like people within the Caribbean, I've never heard one quiet person ever come out of there.
Listen,
It's like
y'all hear
y'all
me.
are Y'all are literally baking under the sun constantly every day. I'd be mad as fuck if that was me as well. Like the sun just gets to you, and you're gonna be very expressive about shit. It's just how I don't know. That's at least how I look at it. Like, you look at people in the Midwest. People be partying every fucking day in Vegas. Like, you ever heard of a quiet Vegas in your life?
That's the city that actually never sleeps.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah. Listen, I have a very naturally loud voice. My fucking ex-girlfriend, 100% Cuban, very loud, very high energetic type of girl. Her mom, as fucked up of an individual as she was, kind of toxic, not gonna lie, loudest fucking person I've ever seen. My father, when he can yell, he can fucking yell. I mean, my father's the whitest Cuban I know, like mentally and spiritually, but he's 100% Cuban, and he can be fucking loud too when he wants to. And then, obviously, the creme de la creme, we have Remy, who, that's a whole different, that's
friend of ours. For anyone, like, we always have to remind him, like, a personal friend of ours.
The best way I could describe Remy is an absolute fucking firecracker. That is what that woman is. She is a firecracker, and both, like, but physically, mentally, spiritually, that woman is a firecracker. Like, in every sense of the word. And I mean that as a compliment, Remy. If you're listening, I hope you understand that.
Yeah, I hope so. We love you, Remy. We love you, Remy. But David, in news, in current events right now, right? I personally feel that David has the voice, and TBH, if we just slapped on that blue suit with red tie on you, we'd have a fucking presidential candidate, or even fucking mayoral candidate on our hands.
Shave my head, rest of my beard. Damn, white Steve Harvey.
Yeah, and not to mention because Dave, in current events right now, I just found out. This just in. Breaking news. Dun 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 dun. Dun. There was a New York-based politician who is in the news right now for one reason, at least. This is the one reason that everyone's focusing on. And it is the fact that he admitted to lying about his college and work history. And apparently he still has his seat right now. I forgot. I think it's in the House.
I was just about to ask, yeah.
Yeah. His name is George Santos. And he is apparently openly gay. And he is, believe it or not, a Republican, which I could not believe. So apparently, he's in the news right now because he was caught lying by many news publications, and he finally has, like, they were coming after him about it, and then he finally just admitted it to everyone. This is coming off of the New York Times, and he basically openly admitted it that, yes, I did lie about my collegiate and resume, like collegiate and work experience, just straight up, just flat out lied.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the lies that he told was that, oh yeah, I worked for Goldman Sachs, I worked for these banks, I was a landlord for like 16 properties, and then he literally came out and said, lol, JK, no, I didn't. And
I'm surprised none of that ever got fact-checked by anybody else while he was
that's
running.
The thing. They were fact-checking, but he was constantly denying it. And, that's the whole cycle of it is that if you just constantly deny it, then it's just like, okay, like, well, not that it seems as if, like, the publications don't have an argument, but at the very least, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I could just keep denying this until, like, the cows come home. And that'll be, like, just what the story is. He just didn't, like, they're saying this, but he's denying it. But then now he's finally just come out and straight up admitted it that, like, oh yeah, I have I have no actual work experience, and of basically just even being this position. And here's the thing.
The only Golden Sacks he looked were literal Golden Sacks. Hey-oh!
Let me.
It's a good joke.
Let me admit something, okay? People lie about their resumes more than you think. And TBH, this is no different than anyone out there who is trying to essentially take the first step towards like a sort of career that's completely different from what they did. Apparently, though, this guy seems as if he was just literally sitting on his ass all fucking year, and he just decided, I want to be a politician. It's just like, I'm gonna go on Google Docs and basically lie about shit on my resume, and it'll get me elected. And here's the thing.
Genius.
Here's the thing. I personally, right? I almost like understand why he had to lie. Because here's the thing, guys. In case you forgot, politicians lie all the time.
What?
And all the time, bro.
No.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
No, they don't.
But it's like
Shut up.
you almost
No.
never hear them lying about where they came from, or at least like what their experience is.
Yeah,
it's
like it's usually like their policies or
I
whatever,
know, yeah,
or just
exactly.
like campaign
It's like
promises
policies,
and shit.
Where they got their donations from, who, if they're even accepting it,
Lying
they would
to
say
other
like, well,
politicians
I don't
about
accept it.
voting yes or no on a bill, and then
Yeah.
as soon as like the vote passes the floor, they're just like this
Completely
guy should have
just
voted, and
flips.
flip them off
Yep.
from the other side of the room. and
Yeah, exactly.
That's usually
but
the shit they lie about.
This is a new form of lie that I've never heard of. Like where he came from and what his experience was. Which like I'm like, I don't know. For me, it's like for a lot of these guys, it's like I almost don't even care like where they came from, right? But it's like it's so weird that this dude felt as if he had to lie, considering like none of the places that a lot of the like let's say bigger politicians that we know of really came from anywhere special. Like I know people would argue like, oh, well, what about like Ivy Leagues? Like, think that's like a prestigious institution. Like, think obviously like that would be worth mentioning. It's like yeah, it's worth mentioning, but it's like at the end of the day, did we ever go and look at a politician and say, oh yeah, I like that guy. He graduated from Princeton. No one ever like actually looks at a candidate and gives a fuck about where they came from. Like honestly, they could have come from like DeVry University, and like we would not give a shit.
Probably like
Truthfully.
more if he came from DeVry.
Yeah, probably, bro. If we even heard, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the more humble it is, the more endearing that they are to us. Because, like, I don't know where AOC at least graduated from, but it's like, if we found out that she graduated, like from any of the CUNY or SUNY schools, and like she just like worked a 9 to 5 on top of going to college, like obviously, yeah, it's much more endearing to us. That
It says Boston University.
Okay, all right then. This is like it's a regular like 4-year school. It's nothing special. Like. She didn't graduate from Harvard or whatever, but it's like, hey, she still went to a regular school and went into politics. So, can't really say anything, can you? But
She's
like
younger than my fucking ex.
Bro, may not be too late.
Shit, and she is a fucking
AOC might be taking
representative.
applications to join her male harem. So you could
dude. Then I gotta fuck dudes and shit, like just to
no,
appease her.
like this. It's just her. Like you're just gonna have to look at it, dude. As you're fucking.
Are you sure? AOC
Yeah.
seems like the kind of person who would like be into dudes having sex,
Yeah, probably. But like,
right? I mean, doesn't she just give off that vibe?
Yeah, but just like on a job application, if they ask you, "Are you willing to commute?" you just write, "No," and it's like, "Are you willing to fuck another dude?" As I watch, just write, "No."
It is funny how
That's all
that
you
works,
gotta
isn't it? The devil's threesome, as they call
Dude,
it.
I always imagined it in my head because
Because you're
obviously
fucking gay.
every man in a monogamous relationship has always had fantasies, of course.
I thought you were about to talk about yeah, I always envisioned the devil's threesome in my head because I'm fucking gay. I thought that's what you were about to say.
But
not my terminology, by the way. I did not make that up, by the way.
yeah,
just saying.
but I've heard it before. Like I
Yeah.
think everyone's kind of heard it at least once. But like, bro, I always even say like, 2 dudes and a girl like is a bicycle. Like that is not that's not a threesome. Like
I feel like logistically,
2 girls and 1 guy, that's a threesome.
I feel like
That's at least.
logistically, like as far as the mechanics of it go, I feel like 2 dudes and 1 woman makes more sense. Specifically, not that I would want to do that. Obviously, I'd rather have a threesome with 2 girls. Again, so close.
Like here's the thing.
So close.
I feel as if any dude who was like at least fairly like who was or is like fairly sexually active, like the chances come at least once. Come at least once.
I feel like they don't come
And then
as
it's just
often as like the fucking
Yeah,
media
but-
will like make it out to be, because the media
but it's
glorifies
like-
sex like so hard that to be like
Yeah,
everybody
'cause
has
it's like
threesomes
almost-
all the time and shit.
Because it's almost like even having sex at all is like, oh my god, it's the lottery. But then it's like you with like you try to get like a threesome, it's like, oh my god, double jackpot winnings. It's like, it like at least that's the way they
fucking double jackpot winnings.
At least that's the way like they like to portray it. But like like it's where was I going with it? What did I say before?
You were talking about George Santos. And then we were talking about AOC and where politicians came from.
Yeah.
And like how you say it doesn't fucking matter where politicians come from. Who gives a fuck?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, yeah, because again, like for me especially, it's like I don't know. I think of it very much like in the New Yorker sort of like kind of mentality. Where it's like virtually I don't give a fuck where you came from. You could have been the prince of another nation, and I couldn't give less of a shit about where the fuck you came from. Because it's just, like, it doesn't matter here. It really doesn't. Unless you have the money, and you could live up to, like, where, like, the east side is, then okay, alright.
You should see you should see the side talk videos, when the Cuomo scandal was happening. Oh, because I feel like if they had somebody like from the hood, like maybe it would be a little different. Because like because obviously those people are just fucking party animals. Like they just go crazy. Like they were screaming into the mic to start that video. They're like, "We're firing Cuomo and replacing him with Bobby Shmurda." And they had like Bobby Shmurda just like walking around the hood, like just interviewing people like these dumbass questions. Like he had pulled up to this one girl, he had this girl around his arm, and just like, confession, baby, confession. It's like, all right, yo, I tried anal the other day. It's kind of lit. They were all like, Bobby for governor, Bobby Shmurda. So stupid.
You know what's so funny though? Like the conversation of back then, where like Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor of California, right?
The governor.
The governor of California. Like that was literally I think his platform for like a while and everything. I mean, here's the thing though, like people at least when Arnold got elected, right?
Yeah.
And then later on, we've had like now Trump become president, right? Like a TV personality, like literally a guy in media. Like, he is a businessman, true, but even for me, I like to think that he is a personality first and businessman second. Like, for Trump, that's who he is for me. Mm-hmm. First, personality, second, businessman. And people then, I remember back in, a couple years back, people were saying, like, oh, what's next? YouTubers are going to become president? Here's the thing. Probably not far off. Not at least maybe a bit far off, but it's not impossible considering just how much money these fucking YouTubers have, like TBH nowadays. Not at least super PAC levels or whatever, but they got money, and obviously just like how even how it is in Formula One or any sort of kind of profession that you need to get into that requires a fuck ton of money. Politics is the same way. Grassroots can happen, but more often than not, it's you do need the dough to kind of get into that club.
You're talking to a fucking Smash player, my guy. If there's anybody who knows the tribulations and trials of being in a grassroots scene, it's your boy. Yeah. Not a one-to-one comparison because it's not.
No, but it's just in the end of the day, the essence is that you do need money to get into the club. That's what it is first, and. Obviously, on top of that, networking as well. You gotta kind of know people. You gotta be able to establish those sort of relationships and eventually kind of use them as well. But the thing is, especially, lost my train of thought again. Politics, right? And getting into it, money. What the fuck else was I saying?
Where politicians came from, you're talking about super PACs and how YouTubers, if they don't have level of money.
Yeah. So Arnold, I think, really was the first one that proved. No, actually, Reagan was the first one because he was an actor. So it's.
Was it Reagan?
Yeah, it was Reagan. Because the thing was,
in a twisted sort of way. In
Well,
a
I mean,
twisted
yeah,
sort
'cause,
of
like-
way, it was Eisenhower.
Oh,
Not
really?
not the same thing, because like he technically what he did was political, but he won the presidency because he was the fucking general in World War II. Right?
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, but like at least when
1-to-1 as far as popularity goes, but like it's not the same thing as being a celebrity, I guess. You're
that's
right.
what I mean.
It's really
Like-
it's Reagan, yeah.
like when you like think about it, right? Like we already had like celebrity presidents before. Like Trump was not the first guy. I mean, obviously he was the most polarizing out of all of them, and I think even Reagan, in a way, was fairly polarizing as well.
He
polarizing
certainly was.
Posthumously, because during the time, at least, like people like apparently just ate the shit up that Reagan said, right?
Drugs
After he
were
passed
such a
it-
problem in the 70s and the 80s, man. So when he got on there holding hands with his wife and shit, you know, like all the boomer generation at the time
Yeah.
were looking at that. They were like, oh, we have to do something about this. The war on drugs. None of us realizing how much of a colossal failure that was going to be later on down the line. Same with trickle-down economics, which I don't give a fuck what your political opinions are listening to this. That shit does not work. Just
No.
it doesn't fucking work. Just peel that band-aid
exactly.
off now. It does not fucking work. It's literally been proven that it does not fucking work.
It's so strange too, because like
Bullshit.
we didn't really look at his like presidency under that microscope until like a couple decades later, like after he left office, and then even after like he had passed. And obviously, I think it goes without saying, like, you know, obviously, like after Trump passes, like, you know, his presidency, even more than it is today, gonna be looked under a microscope.
Are you kidding? Yeah.
I mean, yeah, obviously.
Surprised
but
like
I'm saying,
the historical documentaries later on down the line. Don't be surprised when some of those
Or even
people
the
were
biopics.
the biopics. Like, don't be surprised when like those like. Don't be surprised when you see Dennis, like, you know, sitting, like, in a chair, like, on one of those things in, like, the interviews on, like, the History Channel or whatever. Don't be surprised when, like, some of the, like, the history professors and stuff straight up say, full bias on that fucking video, yeah, he was the worst president we ever had. Don't be surprised. I'm serious. Do not be fucking surprised. They already say that about some of the older ones. Like, I've watched some historical documentaries who say the same thing about Andrew Johnson.
okay,
Did I get that name right? Andrew Johnson, the one after Lincoln?
Andrew Jackson?
No, not Andrew Jackson. The one after Lincoln.
Andrew Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah, the one after
He
Lincoln.
was the 17th. Yeah, from 65 to 69. 1865.
I've literally watched historical documentaries where, like, the historian straight up said, like, yeah, he was one of the worst presidents we've ever had. They just say that straight up. Like, he was just a fucking flat-out racist. That's it. Like, that's all he was.
Well, yeah, he
And,
was from Jacksonian Democrats. Like,
Exactly.
That was the cut of him. Like, you know.
Yeah,
and-
so I'm saying don't fucking be surprised when, like, Trump's, like, thoroughly... I mean, he's already falling out of it so hard as of late. But,
I mean,
like,
yeah, obviously.
don't be surprised when, like, he's officially, like, completely out of the limelight when the historians, like, straight up say, full biased, he was one of the worst presidents we've ever had on those historical documentaries. Quote me. That's gonna happen. And,
And he, I think definitely, you know, the going into like at least like a couple of years into the future, like, you know, who's to say? Well, we could probably possibly have even a worse president than Trump down the line. Like, think by the time like we, me and David are like, you know, much older, and like we're all much older, you know, and we're still doing this shitty podcast, and we're still like, and me and David are gonna have that like little conversation of like, hey, how old are we? What the fuck are we doing? It's like, we're just
That's
running
when
out of ideas here.
No. That's when we shift the meta.
We're gonna join the metaverse, guys. We're gonna do double D in Zuckerberg's metaverse.
Yeah, because the metaverse is gonna be
everyone-
around. Because the metaverse is gonna be around by that fucking point, Dennis. Okay, sure, bro. The fucking metaverse. You ever met a girl?
No, but you could meet a girl on metaverse though.
No, you fucking can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, you can't.
It's just gonna be a dude posing as a girl. You won't know that.
No, Dennis. This is where we shift the meta. And
I always found that so weird.
once we
why
have
do dudes do that? Why do they
because
pose as girls online? I don't understand.
they're weird and they're just so desperate for any type
Like,
of
do they
either
just get off
validation.
on it? It's just like, yeah, you think I'm sexy, don't you? It's just
When
like,
you get lonely
I am hot
enough
bitch
and
69.
desperate enough, you will do any sorts of weird things if you have like some sort of like weird.
It's the
mental
reason why I
disorder.
could have never played Second Life. Every girl that I would have seen, I mean, not that I was even looking for pussy on Second Life, but it's just like, if you go on that game, right? Every single person you just think is a fat fuck, like on his couch playing like thing on, or like, you know, just a fat fuck like behind a keyboard, He's going like, yeah, you think I'm sexy? Yeah, I want to fuck you. And you're just kind of like, you know, you just that person. Just like, bro, I'm just trying to live my second life, man.
When you are lonely for long enough and you put literally zero effort into bettering yourself to try to actually appeal to the psyche of the opposite sex, you start to develop some weird fetishes when you haven't had sex in that long.
Yeah, like, you know, people who, obviously, I mean, you know, I'm not about to have this a whole conversation, but all I'm saying is that, like, people who love themselves don't do shit like this. Yeah. Like, they don't. But...
And not everybody loves themselves every day. You know, sometimes people have bad self-love.
No, yeah. Everyone's got, like, you know.
Point is, later on down the line, when the Double D Experience has like 1 million views per episode, this is where we shift the meta, and we do what you told me to do all these years. And I run for office myself. You as my campaign advisor. Mm-hmm. Because I, honest to God, think you could fucking do that. I'm being real for a second. Not that you'd want to or you'd enjoy it.
No. I kind of would, but
at the same time, there you go. Never mind.
At the same time, like during, sorry. You know, it's alright. Like during that time, right? Obviously, we'll still be running the podcast, right? And I will use ChatGPT, which will have progressed so far by that point that they will literally write and record episodes where we're not even there. It's just terrible fucking episodes with terrible takes that just get all the clickbait and shit.
Fucking voiced by AI too.
But voiced by AI. We'll literally like put our voice down in there. And we will literally just have it just churning out shit episodes. But at the same time, it's still getting clicks. And we're just getting that passive income. And that's how we will fuel the fucking campaign train. And we're just getting that fucking clicks, baby. Like they can just get running shit ads like we'll literally be the sponsors for Viagra or some shit. It's like, oh, get your fucking Viagra pills today. Like use our link Viagra 12 like double D like to get 20% off of your next fucking helping of like dick pills.
I'm like still single at that point too. Like nothing ever changed. I'd be like, oh fuck, I'm gonna need like something special. So like I get like Remy to pose as my wife. Like just to pose as it. To be like, look, we're reformed Cubans from the motherland. See, like we're not nosotros no estás nosotros no estamos comunistas. No comunistas aquí. No, like no, and it's like, see, like look, we're like that.
It's like, yeah, we're white and democracy loving as you guys, easy.
Either that or have her as my running mate. But the thing is, with you as my campaign advisor, I'm not even kidding. I think I would have a legitimate chance. I'm being completely serious. If like you and I ever decided to do that one day, because you've said it 1,000,000 times, I could impose myself. I can speak well enough in front of people. I know that. Like I can.
Yeah,
work
you got
crowd,
the candidate voice.
Exactly.
You got, like, yeah.
Like I'm perfect for it because I have like the candidate voice, I have the candidate demeanor, and I have the candidate that, like all the other ones, legit knows fucking dick about any of this stuff, and would basically be a puppet on a string. I'm like, I don't have the actual like qualifications of a politician, but I have the looks of one. Is the thing. Like I have the looks and demeanor of one. Meanwhile, I have this guy behind the like running the strings behind the show like a fucking puppet in suspension.
Yeah, like everyone thinks when they watch David, it's just like they think like, oh yeah, like this guy is so like he's so intelligent, he knows just his shit, I love this guy, I want to vote for him. Meanwhile, I'm just like sitting there in the back with like all my screens like up in front of me, like I'm just like playing like media by the fucking balls. I'm just like sitting there. It's like y'all fucking idiots. So stupid. I'm literally fucking going to the bank with all y'all. You're so fucking dumb. But at the same time, I'm just like, I like tell David, I said, no, you have to be a genuine person. Like, I would at least tell him that. It's like, even if we're gonna be manipulating the media and like obviously the people, as everyone does, everyone wants to manipulate the media. But
well, I'm fucking a barely 18-year-old girl in like a porta potty like at the campaign rally. I imagine like I'm just a piece of shit, just goes off the rails like fucking Homelander ass douchebag. And Dennis has to like justify like all my decisions, like someone opens the door. Like we're in the boardroom meeting and Dennis is just like,
you know what I would be? You know what I would be? Like, I'm imagining that scene where Homelander's in the fucking hallway and he's just like fucking going insane, like looking at all the memes on his phone. He's just like up against the wall. He just like fucking laughs and just goes, literally looks as if he's about to punch that wall. And then like I have to call David. It's like, what the fuck are you doing right now? And you're just like with your like, you know, just turned 18, like fucking like, you know, a girlfriend. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, you're like, what? It's like, bro, you know what the fuck they're saying about you? They're looking into me now because of you. And I'm just like,
listen, man, these people will vote blue no matter what. You feel me? Like, you mean you heard that guy on that one like interview? Like they're asking who he was voting for. They're just like, yeah, I've been a Republican my whole life, but I love that Dave Riverall fella. I'm gonna vote.
Like I have to tell all the media people on our fucking staff. It's like, yo, I don't know, just fucking tell them that the girl's a Mormon or some shit, and like she like escaped from her Mormon parents, and like David took her in or something. Just make it look sympathetic or fucking whatever. I don't give a shit.
The whole office is pretty much just like dedicated to just cleaning up my
damage control. That's the thing is, most people don't realize is that like, especially depending on like who the media teams like, you know, I guess who they're media teaming for. If they're a volatile ass person, they go from a media team to straight up damage control. They have to play, putting out the fires, as it were, for this guy because of all just the wild shit that he says. And then I even like to imagine, like during when like I was gonna say Tramp, when Trump was when Trump was
with their running mate lady,
with running mate Clanton, when he was like. When he was campaigning, right? It's like the media team went from they thought damage control to like just like they had an epiphany. It's like, wait, hold up. Like the main guy like brought everyone together. It's like, look, people love controversy. It's like almost, I don't know why. It's like obviously it's not like rocket science that obviously controversy does generate clicks, right? Mm-hmm. But it's like they had no idea how much of a golden goose of just racism that they had on their hands. It's like they could not believe like how good they had it. It's like everyone from like the main editor, head of the socials, to just even the assistant, they all realized like, yo, we about to get payday. We're about to get paid, bro. And they just said, fuck it, let's just run wild with it. And like, let's just literally just go insane with it. And then they brought in all the guys at CNN, Fox, and everybody. They literally brought them in. It's like, look, guys, listen. We're just going to have a conversation here right now. Because we have a fucking money. We have money on our hands. We have money on our hands. Fucking hell with Dave's webcam. Get in focus. Get your head in the game right now. And, you know, they all just brought everyone together. And, like, they excluded Trump from the conversation. It's just like, yeah, no. Like, oh, like, yeah, you just leave. No, we inviting him? No. Leave him out. Leave him out of here. They just all brought him together, and it was just kind of like, guys, listen. He's probably not going to get reelected. Let's just be real. So we have 4 years to milk the shit out of this man. And we could do it, with no restrictions whatsoever.
I never thought of people using Trump for money, which is funny how I've never really thought of it like that, to be honest. Because, like, literally, like, they would want us to talk about Trump all the time when I was going to Montclair and shit, because obviously the guy was kind of a media anomaly, you know, like, there was
exactly.
such a confusing time because, like, there was nobody who was ever using these tactics in the 21st century to get elected in the way that they were and stuff like that, so... Yeah, it's fucking wild shit, man. I mean, just imagine. I'm sorry, I can't stop imagining myself. I cannot stop imagining myself as just like that piece of shit who has no business running for office ever. I'm like the literal perfect prop for that. Like I would be the perfect prop candidate because they're just like, oh, I like his voice. It's so pleasant. I love listening to him.
The trophy candidate. Like how a trophy wife is. It's like that's like what some candidates like literally be. It's just like
I
he
believe
just looks nice.
Deep down. In the heart of America, in the young Gen Z, we have the beating hearts of true Americans who have, in just albeit different ways, the same values that we've always had. Something that cycles from generation to generation, and it cannot be killed.
You just see me like
9/11.
Like I'm in behind the curtains. I'm just like mouthing off everything that you're saying. I'm just like, talk about abortion. Talk about the keys. Keep going.
The keys. Yeah, the keys. I just the keys to America.
And you like you still like look to the curtains like where I'm at.
Something that could wait. What?
Talk like you'd still be looking at me in the curtains. Like I'm just
said,
still like mouthing off everything. I'm just like, yeah, talk about the alphabet people. Yeah, the queers. Yeah, talk about them.
All the teachers who teach the alphabets in our schools. The groundwork fundamentals of this country. You're just sitting in the back like, ugh.
Or no, you
God
like,
damn it.
It's like you thought you nailed it, so you look to me for affirmation. I'm just like dying there laughing. I'm like,
like my thumbs up, like
you literally just see me like on the fucking floor laughing, and you're just like, and you're just like, and then you start busting out laughing too, right on camera in front of the entire nation, and everyone's just like in the media, like they're like, presidential candidate bursts out laughing during a speech at rally, and then I just like, and then I spin it over like to where a presidential candidate remembers a fond memory that he had with his parents, and it got to him emotionally, and he just is, he just could not contain his laughter, and then it becomes endearing to you.
Hold on.
In front of everybody.
Give me another topic. Give me another issue. Give me another issue. Like
poverty. Talk about poverty. Talk about them poor hoes out there. You know.
The hoes that are used by our farmers to bring us crops.
First time a president will have ever called a woman a hoe, like ever on TV. It's like, hey, yo, talk about them immigrants, them fence jumpers that get into this country. Talk about them. Pole vaulters.
And then I'm just like, grants. Under my presidency, there will be more grants given to scientists to combat climate change.
We just keep going to this.
Shit.
Prostitution. Talk about that. We're hitting all the buzzwords today. Just keep going with it. Healthcare. Talk about that. Healthcare for prostitutes. Yeah, we'll talk about that. And then like years later, after your presidency is gone, and like we get like you and I just get sat down for.
I need to work on my improv skills, because like with the last 3 issues you just brought up to me, I was trying to think of a way I could misinterpret them. I was trying to think of something that rhymed with it. God, I couldn't think of anything that rhymed with prostitution. Like to like misinterpret that.
It might be. Like
I thought of
claustrophobic. Can't find something that rhymes.
Claustrophobic, maybe. I'm like because I'm claustrophobic a little in elevators. No, there's door hinge. Get fucked, by the way. Door hinge.
Prostitution. Constitution. There you go, right there.
Oh,
Media.
there you go.
Media,
I could have bring that to the Constitution.
It's like, according to our Constitution.
You see what I mean? You're thinking of things that I'm not. You would be perfect as my campaign advisor. You see, like you fill in the voids where I'm too dumb to fucking do it. Bro, I couldn't think of Constitution, and you could.
It's like, yo. And I'm just like, and we still keep going, and it's like,
Dennis,
okay, like,
we can do this.
And like during the debate, right? It's like that's when like like we're just straight up cheating during the campaign. Like I have like a microphone in their ear, and I'm like talking to you through it. And it's just like, we get into foreign policy, and it's just like, President Riverall, candidate Riverall, like how do you feel about the situation with the Iranians? And I'm like, say that we're gonna bomb them, like they're fucking bitch assholes. Like we're gonna fucking bomb the shit out of them.
They say like foreign
Just go straight up Warhawk, man. Say you're gonna fucking bring destruction down on their fucking asses. Just do it. Fucking do it.
They tell me to like talk about foreign policy, and I'm just like, yes, there is a whore in my residency. I'm flattered for you to notice. What's the fucking Lester Holt? I'm flattered for you to notice, Lester. We're trying to do something. We're gonna do something about her. If I promise, if I am reelected, I will remove the whore from my residency and distribute her amongst the people.
And then
vote David Riverall, 2048, whatever it is.
You're like one of the first few, like first president ever that apparently he's like come out in public and said like, I have 2 wives. And he's like, Candidate Riverall, like you publicly come out and said that like you clearly have 2 wives within your household. Can you tell us about the situation?
Yes, that is factually accurate. Yes.
Yeah, and like like people thought like they were gonna catch you in a lie, and like you're gonna deny it. It's like, oh, actually no, yes I do.
No, they're gonna like me because I'm fucking straight up about it. Like,
and us at the same time. He's like, For all like the like really like there's some real dumb like people out there,
That
but
damn
they'll be like,
guy has two wives and he's honest about the fact that he likes it.
and you even set like a precedent now. It's just like everyone thinks like, why can't we have two wives? Like
Every president needs to have two wives now.
there's a first lady and a second lady.
Fucking trend setter, my guy. You and me are gonna be the trendsetters of politics, dude.
Dude, we're gonna burn this country to the ground if that was the case. Like,
Probably.
because like at the same time, like obviously, I think whenever people decide like, okay, they want to make big changes, right? Whenever they're president or leader, right? Like you need like there's a time and a place for everything, and at the same time, like there's limits, Like I think people like because like obviously the presidency is not a dictatorship. Like we have checks and balances that obviously like I don't think the House and the Senate will probably agree with you on everything, but I'll just be like you have like you put a bill forward and like a lot of your guys in your cabinet are like David like nah like we can't like there's no way the House and the Senate's gonna fuck.
I feel like I would be literally the Democratic Trump.
Yeah. Like
not that I'd want, not that I'd low-key
Trump.
not that I'd want to be like a dictator or anything like that. Like I wouldn't try to take over the House. I wouldn't incite an insurrection. I wouldn't like invite people to come in or tweet like dumb shit on the daily. But I would be the guy who literally has no idea what the fuck he's doing, no business being where he is, or hasn't gotten as far as he is, except now he's left leaning instead of right. So like I feel like the House and the fucking Senate. I feel like Republicans would just dog on me. But even like the left would have no idea what to think of me. Like they wouldn't know what to do. Like how the Republicans didn't know what to do with Trump. Like they would look at me and be like, "Oh, he's the left-leaning president, so we got to support him." But they would listen to the shit that I say. Like they'd be like, talk about migrant workers. Talk about migrant workers. My grant,
sex workers.
My Grant works for me. I love Grant. He's a great guy. He's been on my campaign trail for many years. You're like, fucking goddamn it, David. Like, and they'd want to like me because they'll be, oh, he's the Democrat. We have to support him. But they would listen to my speeches and be like, what?
And then, like, literally 30 years later, after you already campaigned, like, and after, like, just your political career is over, you're in retirement, and they have you and me, like, together, like, in a little documentary /
We're just
interview.
sitting like, we done good, Dennis.
It's like, up top, bro. And then
we're sitting on a porch, everything's on fire in front of us.
There's literally a riot going on in the background as we're having this fucking interview. Like we just completely destroyed the foundations of this fucking country like over the span of 4 years. Like obviously you didn't get reelected, but it just fucking went to shit so fucking quickly. And we just basically said like how fragile democracy is. And we just like, and you and me are literally like SpongeBob and Patrick when the city's on fire. It's like, we did it, Patrick. We saved the country.
Let me ask you something. Does the vice president have to be born in America?
Technically, I don't think so, because I think Kamala, she actually immigrated from India. Oh no, really? I think she may have been born here. I'm not sure.
Born in, because this is going to be huge for the campaign trail. Okay, all that happened was fucking Kamala Harris came up. Yeah, like it didn't answer the question. The Constitution mandates that a person. Oh, I think they have to have lived in the U.S. for a certain time.
Like. Yeah, she was born in Oakland, so she was already born in
the vice president has to have lived in the U.S. for at least 14 years. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, and also says must be a natural-born citizen.
Ain't that just, like, typical residency stuff?
Well, this also says natural-born citizen, so they would have to be born here, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, that sucks, because I literally just had a wonderful idea. I was going to say, I should get Hitomi Tanaka to be my VP. That would be fucking brilliant. Are you kidding?
Do you understand, too, that, like, you would be literally just one step closer to becoming...
Achieving world peace. Yeah, I know.
To being, like, the dictator. Like, the dictator, the movie. Like, you would just have nothing but women's Secret Service. Like, that would be the sign. Women VP, women's Secret Service. All-woman division of the army. Just full of busty-ass fucking women. They get paid well, too. They're trained killers. But, like, they're just fucking, like, just... Yeah, but you know
it's Aladdin, motherfucker.
You know, some people were like even saying that like OnlyFans pretty is like its own type, right? But it's like usually though, in my opinion, like OnlyFans pretty is very much a different type of pretty compared to like just it's a different kind of pretty, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like just one above porn star pretty, which is, you know, just a bit trashy, just a bit. And I'm not knocking anyone who's in that fucking industry. I'm just saying that your form of pretty is just like, it's a little sleazy.
It
just
depends
a little
on the
bit.
type, because like some of them, there are some porn stars who are like still like really popular porn stars who straight up look like failed hookers,
Yeah.
which is nuts. But then you have other ones who are just like naturally
the-
gorgeous women, like fucking Angela White is one. I think Angela White is one of the most objectively. I think she's literally one of the most objectively attractive women I've ever seen in my life, if I'm being honest. Like she just looks like a normal woman. She's just got a ridiculous body and like yeah, you know what, you see what I mean? Like she literally looks like she has something that appeals to everybody. She's just like a very objectively like
Exactly.
she looks like
Objectively
a
pretty.
science model. You know what I mean? Like she
Yeah,
looks
she
like,
doesn't
like
look
the
as if she was
scientific
bred out of
model.
out of a laboratory.
Yeah.
So some girls really look like it, and you know, like they.
Yeah, and like her tits are natural
Botox.
too, and like I've seen women with breasts like her. Like she just some women just have naturally busty tits. It's like it's completely normal.
Yeah,
And,
guys, like it would be, dude, it would be so fucking funny if like your Secret Service is fucking Angela White.
I mean, unfortunately, that could not happen either. She's Australian.
Oh
Yeah. She's an Aussie.
She's an Aussie. Damn, she'd be the loudest Secret Service agent ever. There.
Dude, there's some video.
Oh, what
like,
the
literally
fuck
just,
are you doing? Make way for the president.
Dude, I saw one video. It's literally just like a first-person view of this guy, like literally just walking with her in this foreign country, and like just this like very romantic-looking date night. And never has a porno made or like a video like that made me so happy and so sad at the same time.
Why
It was
sad?
literally- it just looked like a very normal girlfriend experience, and it made me remember and like miss what it's like to really have somebody like that. Because she's walking around and she looks fucking ridiculously sexy, and like, you know what I mean? It's just like you could see the two of them spending the whole day together, and it's like, oh, that's real nice, you know. And then it just made me remember what it's like to have a girlfriend, because it's been so long since I've like had a girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just made me be like, oh fuck, I missed that. Like just literally walking around like hard as fuck the whole day, like just knowing you two are gonna fucking fuck each other's brains out later, and just having like a real like romantic day, like literally just being horny, like the kind of girl that like you're horny as fuck from just holding hands with her. You know what I mean? I'll show you the video, and you're gonna. I'll show you the video before we leave, or like before you and I like disperse today, and you'll know what. It's not even a porno. It's literally just a first-person view of this guy just walking around with Angela White, and it's like all romantic and shit. It's like you see it from the first person. It's you're like, oh, this is what it was like to have a girlfriend. I remember this. This is real sweet, and it also made me sad because I was like, oh, this is what it's like to have a girlfriend. Oh man.
I want to ask you, like, because this may happen in the future. If we
Before we go here, it's almost time to wrap.
if and when we get like a lady president, and you know, obviously like all the stuff that will like kind of bring with it. Like, not that I'm saying it's gonna be like major implications or whatever, but like obviously like the traditional dynamic that we knew of like will kind of change by that point. But
Yeah.
you think it would be appropriate, let's say, right, if a female president, after her presidency, right, she then goes on to date one of her Secret Service, bodyguards. Like, let's just say, like, after her presidency and everything is done, like, obviously, I think there's like a level of clearance that like ex-candidates like do have, but what do you call it? Like, do you think it would be appropriate if we found out that, let's say, a lady president like went on to date her Secret Service, like, I guess one of her ex-Secret Service bodyguards in the future?
Like, it's a hard question to answer. That's never, because I don't think that's ever happened. It's never happened before, obviously.
That's what I
We've
mean.
never
Like,
had a
think
woman
that,
president.
where's the precedent? Like, we
Well,
don't have one.
I mean, it's not okay when a guy does it.
Yeah.
Not okay when a guy does it, because, you know, obviously Clinton did it and fucking lied about it like an idiot. Like,
Well, that wasn't secret. I mean, well, he just, like, it was, I mean, well, it was like an aide, right? Like, Monica was like an aide for him? Yeah. So, yeah, it's like you don't want to shit where you eat. I mean, well, I mean, she's like, that's
it literally depends on who you ask, because I guarantee, like, women would mercilessly defend her.
Yeah,
They'd be
exactly.
like, yeah, she has the right to
But,
do
like,
this.
I feel
like-
like from that, like, you know, objectively speaking, I think anyone with a heart will kind of know, like, that doesn't seem too appropriate.
It's going to depend on the news org, to be honest. It depends on what side of the aisle she's on. Because like if she's a Democrat who does that, Fox News will literally talk about it for 15 years, and I'm not even exaggerating.
If the lady president was a Republican, right?
They'd ignore it.
they would ignore it, and like, you know, they would even just say like, they'd be like, you know, it'd be one thing ignoring
They do
it.
ignore it because like Marjorie Taylor Greene literally cheated on her husband with her fucking personal trainer.
Oh,
Straight up.
You know, here's the thing though, like, I'd even like in relationships like that, right? Where especially like, because especially when you're a not a candidate, but like I guess a politician like her, like where you're just getting mad money like from donations and shit, right? Like, and when money like that is usually involved, like more often than not, like couples usually do come at odds with each other, and like I could already kind of imagine like that her husband probably got also pussy on the side. Like relationships like that, it's like, because the dynamic is that like, I'm Marjorie Taylor Greene, I am a Republican politician, you are man in house.
She literally, there was just an open seat. That's all that happened. All right, we're pushing an hour.
I know.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, and
Happy New Year,
guys.
everyone. Yeah.
David 2024 for president.
No, that's too soon. I'm not old enough.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You have to be a certain age.
35 at least.
I found that such bullshit though. It's like, why?
I'm not gonna say it's bullshit once we increase the age cap, I should say. I'm fine with it then, like when we don't have fucking 90-year-olds like
yeah, but you know that like that bill is gonna be like an uphill battle to get passed, like, because these old fucks are gonna like basically like kill it like at every chance they have.
Pretty much.
Unless there's like that just one dementia ass fucking politician who's like, everyone's like getting to the vote and it's all coming down to him. He's like, everyone's thinking he's gonna vote no, but he's like, yes. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? You fucking idiot.
Like in his head, he's just like, do you want a bologna sandwich for lunch? Yes.
It's like you know it's gonna be like just a fucking stroke of luck if that shit gets passed, because it's not gonna get passed by the classical way. Like it's not just gonna be like where, okay, you're gonna lobby and like, okay, like I have all these, pay these guys and say, hey, vote yes. Need to get this shit passed. You fucking geriatrics do not deserve to fucking be here anymore. And it's just like, you just see this one dude who was like, let's say just like a staunch anti-democrat and everything, but he's just also a fucking dementia patient. But he's protected because like, you know, obviously like there's no law that says like, okay, you can just oust the fucking person if like, you know, they're like not of mental health. But then he's just like sitting there when the vote's going on, and he's just like, what say you, senator from Milwaukee? He's just like, everyone's just thinking, like, it's just zooming in on everybody. It's like just like it's getting real dramatic. It's getting real suspenseful, and it's just all coming down to him. And he's just like, duh. Mayonnaise
is an instrument.
And then speaker's just like, Senator, we need a yes or no. He's just like, yes. And it's like, everyone's like, yeah.
It's like that scene from Lincoln. I
forgot
what
dramatic.
What senator, what congressman it was who was like gonna like tell everybody he was voting no, like to overturn slavery,
yeah.
and then on the day of, he's just like staring. It's like, yay. And like,
didn't he even stood up and was just like,
yeah,
damn you all, like I'm saying yay, like I'm saying yes.
No, that's what he did, like, because they were like, what? Because he was like the most anti-staunch person. It's a pretty hype scene, I'm not gonna lie. He says,
it was, yeah.
I say yay. Are you stupid or are you deaf? I say yay. And then they fucking swarm him. Like,
yeah, I know. They're like, they're literally, you even see people grabbing his collar. Yeah. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You fucking idiot. They're like,
no, they were good swarming him. Like, they were popping off for him.
No, but you saw that other camp on the other side. They were ready to fucking literally just jump over their fucking tables to grab that dude.
That's a great scene. That's a great fucking scene, because he's literally looking down, like, thinking about it, because he's like, he wants to vote no. He's like, but in his mind, he's like, slavery is so fucked up.
My body's telling me no.
My mind's telling me no.
But my body's telling me yes. He just starts fucking the table.
Fuck me hard, congressional table. Here are the plugs. You follow us at Double D Pod on Twitter.
Oh, this was a great episode.
The Double D Experience 21 on Instagram. Yeah, this is a good one. Double D's in the morning is not bad. I'm okay with it. It gets me up and out. I have a doctor's appointment at 3:15. They're gonna check my ass. Spotify. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
I have like 5 power strips here, man. You gotta be careful. If I get any liquid on them, I'm gonna fucking explode, and you'll be down 1 co-host.
I gotta check my ass.
Oh, Jesus.
Google Podcasts. And also right here, youtube.com/Nintoonist. Feel free to give us a sub. That would be appreciated. We're gonna leave a poll on the anchor poll on would you vote for David for president,
or even on, better yet, Twitter.
Maybe on Twitter. That too. Like if I remember.
If it hasn't gone down in flames already.
Give it a few more years. Not even kidding about that.
How would you feel if you got a donation from Elon Musk? He's like, hey, I want you to kind of push this. And then you kind of run it through me. And I'm just kind of like, what does he want? He's like, he wants a moon colony. He wants capital from the government to make a moon colony. And I'm like, and did he just giving us money? And you're just like, yeah, as if that was the end of the conversation. And be like, no. There's going to be 2 suites just for me and you. That is my condition. You ain't getting no fucking moon colony for free. And he's just like, but he's paying for it. That is free, man. You think this money fucking matters to him? I want 2 suites just for me and my family and your family. I want 2 fucking suites.
I don't know, man. I've seen endoparasitic. I don't know if a moon research base
I've
is a good idea.
I've seen Cyberpunk Edge Runners. That shit looks depressing living up there. Honestly.
All right. We'll talk. We love you guys. We'll see you in the new year. Actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Happy New Year.
Seeing you in 2023, guys.
Yeah. We'll talk about our resolutions next week, I guess.
Yeah. Running for president later on. We have big plans. We got big plans
for the Double D experience.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the shittiest candidate ever conceived.
And yes, but you will be. You'll be like
but
Jack
still
Sparrow.
the most successful.
Yeah, you'll be like Jack Sparrow. It's like, so you are about the worst presidential candidate I've ever heard of. It's like, but you have heard of me.
We love you guys. Bye.